Guys, and welcome to the second video for chapter number 8, where we are going to solve for part number 3, where it asks us to allocate the support department costs using the step-down method. So here we have our Excel file, and just a small note that I want to make about the step-down method is that the step-down method acknowledges some usage of one support department by another. So this is what I mean. Remember, in the direct method, we simply took our two costs over here in blue. Let me just change that back. We took our two costs right here in blue and we transferred them to our operating departments, which are CDs and other media, right? We did this directly. However, in step down, we want to show that one of the departments uses the other support department as well. And in order for me to do that, in order for me to allocate one of the departments to the other department, the question tells us to use the department with greater direct costs first. So this is what I'm going to do. Since 49800 is the support department with greater costs, I'm going to allocate admin to janitorial, CDs, and other media. Then I'm going to take all the costs that I have in janitorial and allocate that to CDs and other media, and that is it. That is what I'm simply going to be doing in this question. So I'm going to start off with transferring the blue cost to the three yellows. All right, so I'm going to take my admin, which is 49,800. I'm going to allocate it to janitorial, CDs, and other media. Okay, and then what base am I going to use? It says that it's admin, and I mentioned in my previous video, you use employees, which is most relevant to admin. So I'm going to take 49,800 multiplied by one employee, which is in janitorial. So one employee divided by 5. Nope. I'm going to divide it by 4. Why? Because the employee in admin is not relevant anymore. This is the department from which the cost is leaving, is being transferred to the other three departments. So this one is not relevant. We only take the base from the 3 or 2 or whatever departments that you're allocating the cost to. All right. So since the cost is being allocated to janitorial, CDs, and other media, we're going to take 1, 2, and 1. That comes out to a total of 4. Okay, that gives me 12,450. I'm going to follow the same procedure for the rest of the department. So I'm going to take 4,900 times 2 divided by 4, and then finally 4,900 multiplied by 1 divided by 4. That is it, guys. And that gives me the answer for my first step down from admin to janitorial, CDs, and other media. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take janitorial from over here and transfer it to CDs and other media. So janitorial, but mind you guys, 12,450 isn't the only cost in the janitorial department. You also have to include plus the direct costs over here, the 29,800 that we calculated previously. That is the direct costs already available in janitorial. Okay, so we add these two up together, that gives us 42,250, and then we allocate it to CDs and other media. Using what allocation base? Well, also because that's the only one left, but the logic behind it is that janitorial, since you're cleaning up your facilities, square meters is the way to go. So equals to 42,250 multiplied by 50. No, wait a second. So CDs has 120 divided by the total. What is the total? 250? Nope. It's going to be 120 plus 30, because again, the cost that is being allocated to the two departments are CDs and other media. So we're only going to take the square meters for these two. So 120 plus 30, that's 150. 150. And 33,800 is simply you can simply make a shortcut, which is like 42,250 and 33,800. That is it. And those are your allocated costs in the final two departments. Now, in order for you to calculate the total costs for both CDs and other media, first off, you're going to take the direct costs that are already in both departments. So I'm going to take CDs 76,520, and I'm going to take other media 97,880. Then I'm going to take the costs that have been traced first. So traced 1, let's call it traced 1, equals to, or let's call it admin. It's more relevant. Trace from admin equals to, over here, remember guys, from admin we allocated to janitorial and CDs and other media. So we're going to take 24,900 and equals to 12,450. And finally, we're going to take it from janitorial, which equals 33,800 and 88,450. That comes out to a total of, so that is my total cost, and that comes out to a sum of all of these three. Simply copied here. There we go. That is our final answer for using the step down method. Now, I'm going to cover as much as I can for the reciprocal method because that is the most complex and that is the one that requires the most brain power. All right. So let's start off with what the reciprocal method is. That is the fourth part, just mind you. Allocate support department costs using the reciprocal method. So the reciprocal method recognizes that all support departments use each other's services. It's the best method to use because it's the most accurate, the one that gives the most accurate results. And it gives a better allocation based on usage. Okay, so in the reciprocal method, you're going to be using simultaneous equations. Now you may be familiar with this concept. It is simply where you create two equations in which you have two variables in each equation and you have to solve for that variable, right? You may have heard of this before. So I'm going to write out the simultaneous equation right over here. So the way to go about this is simply this. You have janitorial costs, right? So you want to allocate again. You want to allocate your costs to all three departments. So you have janitorial, which is a support department. You want to allocate costs to all three, admin, CDs, and other media. Then you want to take admin and you want to allocate to all three, janitorial, CDs, and other media. That is the way you want to go about it. But how would you make that equation and how would you allocate the costs to all the departments? What technique would you use?